Welcome to Motivational Monday, introducing the Blind Titans.
What up, TikTok homies? It's Daniel, aka Rolling Blind.
Hey guys, it's me, Dom, aka Blind Justice.
Yo, what's good? This your boy Dre, aka Dre Charles.
What's poppin' TikTok? It's your boy Chef Blinds, aka Blinds. You already know what it is.
Yo, it's Irv. Schedule Be Blind on TikTok.
Hilarious D, resident clown, Ball So Hard University.
Welcome to Motivational Monday. This is the Blind Titans. Okay, today we're going to have a discussion on why things is so much expensive that the disabled people, it's hard for us to get stuff. So we're going to start the conversation with your boy Denzel, Hilarious D.
All right, cool. So, well, first things first, I would say that, just put a question out there. Why do we think that things are so unaffordable? And we could talk about, let's start with housing first. Not putting no personal information out there, but why do you guys think it's so difficult for blind disabled people to afford housing by themselves? And I mean by housing, just buying a house for starters, or even renting. Let's go with.
I take it.
Go ahead.
So I feel like it's hard for us to get a house and whatever. Well, for me, the reason why it's hard for me because I got one income and a one income check ain't gonna do really much because you gotta pay the rent, which gonna take down the whole thing these days. And then what you gonna have to pay next? Light bill, electric, all that. So yeah, it's kind of hard with one income to try to get a house for me. I can just say that though.
Daniel?
Yeah, I guess for me it's a little bit different because I'm not prepared, so I don't get no from the government at all. But of course I've heard a lot of people talk about it, that the struggle with of course paying all the bills and the rent or your house payment with only one income and you're disabled.
Dre?
Hey, I think it's hard because in a way I think some people really don't trust us to know what we're doing by ourselves. Let alone us not having enough money to take care of everything in the house by ourselves. So most of the time you would need somebody else in the house or a second income. And plus stuff is so high now.
Excuse me.
I feel I kind of second and third everything everybody else is saying. So, being disabled, you already at a disadvantage because you only getting a certain amount of money. You own a fixed income. You only getting a certain amount of money every month. And it's like that amount that you get is basically only enough to secure a place to live. Like, it's not for nothing extra. And then on top of that, they limit how much you can make if you do attempt to go to work also. So it's like the system is made to keep you where you are. Like, they don't want you to try to get ahead, to be able to get ahead.
And I'll go a different route. I'll say that the area you live in. Speaking on Maryland by itself, like in Baltimore, like even though it's the city, and in the inner city of Baltimore City, it's different price ranges. Like you can go beyond A Street, and that price range can be like $1,000 to $1,500, and then go around the corner to B Street, and that price range would be anything from $1,000 down to $800. And right then and there, that shows how confused the housing market or landlords in general really is. Like, it just depends on where you live, and some places in the south a little bit cheaper, some things over west, some things up north maybe a little bit expensive or cheaper. Blind Justice?
Well, I think first off, and I understand that we're talking from the perspective of blind people, because all of us are blind, and that's the one thing that we have in common. But I also think that it is important to make sure to recognize that I think it's going to be difficult for all people with disabilities. Um, but the caveat to that is out of all the disabilities, which I didn't notice until the beginning of this year, out of all the disabilities, we gain the most as blind and visually impaired people. We actually mourn on disability on Social Security. We actually typically earn more than the average person that's receiving disability. So I think that that's an interesting fact to throw out there. I agree with everybody, but I also want to say too as well that I think one of the problems um, within the disabled community and just people as a whole is that I think in many ways a lot of us are not educated and not informed on I'm not going to say correct, on constructive ways on how to financially handle your business matters and responsible ways to handle things. I think that there needs to be some sort of a financial education course or something like that to help us learn how to save. I think that's something that we don't do a lot of. We don't save. I think we are not taught a lot about how to take care of things. We're not taught a lot about programs that they offer out there for us. And so because of that, it's a lot of people in and out of the disabled community who really are thrown out there without a lot to work with off the top. But then on top of that, not really necessarily knowing how to responsibly take care of bills and responsibilities.
I'm glad you brought that up, Dom, because here at the in Maryland, the Workforce and Technology Center, the first things that they put us through when we looking for jobs and stuff like that is a benefits course where we sit down. They ask us for our information. We sit down, we break down what we get a month from whatever income we get, and then they actually tell us like, well, according to so and so, you only allowed to work this many hours and make this amount. If you go over this could happen. If you stay under this could happen. This basically as a tool or information to know that once you out here working, and you can't just go scheme, plot, and cut where you want to. Some things you gotta know.
I feel like that I just, for me, I feel like this is crazy though. Like if we need this, like we got the disability check, and we try to get a job. I think y'all should not just take that check from us. Y'all see, we trying to, manage to get some more money, but don't take a check that we need really. It can be like a backup check, something we need.
I think though the unfortunate reality, and I feel like I'm really on the fence with this subject. I think the unfortunate reality of it is though is that although you guys are bringing up good points, I think it is important to also make sure that we throw out there that there are a lot of people who abuse the system.
Oh
So I
yes,
think
most
that
definitely, Dom.
so you definitely have to keep in
Yeah.
mind in many ways years and years and years of abuse and people using the system in non-beneficial ways. Of course, naturally anybody's going to say, well, we're going to have to put safety guards in place to what we don't get taken advantage of. And I feel like in many ways, because I can name to you 10 people that I know off the top of my head that are abusing the system. If it's through food stamp, if it's through
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
hey, it's the truth though. And again, I'm not calling on the names, but again, I know plenty of people who are using the system. If it's for welfare, food stamps,
Yeah.
housing assistance, And again, I get it. Times is hard, but of course, naturally, my philosophy is this, and I'm just trying to bring my way back around to what you said, Denzel. Um, Unfortunately, the notion of this is the way the rules are and this is what we have to live by, but because the rules don't necessarily benefit me, I'm gonna try to bend the rules to the point to where I almost break them but not break them. To me, wrong is wrong. And unfortunately, I just feel like in my opinion, there's a right way to go about trying to make change happen for you or your community. And unfortunately, if abusing the system is the way that we do it, to me, I don't feel like we'll ever get far. And I feel like that's what started this notion of us being the way that we are.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say on a live before that was cited, and I'm sure you guys get it a lot too. Oh, y'all just faking it. And I think that on some level, a lot of people believe that a vast majority of the blind community just fakes it to get a check, or just fakes it because they don't want to work, or just fakes it because it's the easier route. And I think
Yeah,
that's the mentality that we have to change.
yeah. To piggyback of what you said about abusing the system, I've heard of human resources in your cities. Well, like if you're behind on like your bills, like your utility bills and stuff, they will. If you go and ask them for help, they will help you. I know people who do not pay their light bill on purpose and let it build up, and just go to the human resources so they can pay it.
So, funny story, Irv. So, as you guys know, I know where I work at and what I do. Um,
Yeah,
and for a large period of time there, for those of you guys who are watching, one of the main things that we did was to help people with the rental assistance program when the government approved for people to, apply and get their, rent or mortgage paid because of the pandemic and stuff like that.
yeah,
Again, multiple people at a time. We serviced hundreds of people at one point in time, but multiple people at one point in time ended up coming up and telling us that they had full no intentions on paying not one penny of rent,
yep,
and going to sit up and let the rest of their rent pile up and let the government pay for it. Not given, times is hard, and that's what the program is meant for. But I'm looking at these people who are literally struggling, doing the best that they can to try to make ends meet so that they can pay their rent and keep food on the tables and light and electricity running through the sockets and stuff like that. But then you have people who are like, oh, I ain't finna pay. I don't know if I should cuss, but I'm not going to pay anything, and I'm just going to let the government handle it. Not recognizing that there's a lot of people on the other side who are also not benefiting from this. Landlords, they still got to pay that stuff.
yeah. But
So,
the one when that stuff happened and they started, I knew people was gonna do exactly what you're saying. But then I'm like, I always try to look at the future too. Like, you gotta realize that, yeah, it's supposedly supposed to be free right now, but what happens when they drop that? So now you owe this amount, that amount, and then your landlord, if you ain't been true to them all of that time, you don't think when that junk get lifted that they gonna put you out?
and I'm
Now
really
you
for
now now you won't be crying out here, and you
Not
could have
being
been doing the
crybaby.
right thing the entire time.
the part that, and I'm probably really going to hurt some feelings because I'm sure somebody out there I'm speaking to personally right now, the PPP loans. Y'all know y'all
Yep.
was
Ooh,
wrong for
right.
doing all that stuff with them PPP loans. And
Yes,
at the
sir.
end of the day, when
With
they
the
come and get
PPP
you, you're
loan.
not gonna have nobody to blame but yourself. Because y'all know
Yep.
y'all was wrong for y'all who did that stuff with them PPP loans, knowing good and well that y'all didn't have no business doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's
also,
why I say it's about to be a lot of
Uh,
pretty people in
uh, uh,
jail.
it's
I
gonna
wanted
be
to make a another quick point about being able to, of course, live in a house and afford food. Hey, it's hard for blind people to get jobs too. So
Yeah.
put another question on the floor, like why do y'all really like, or what's y'all beliefs, opinions, or why do we think employers have a hard time hiring or trusting a blind person to do the job? Obviously, it's jobs out here that we can't do specifically, like driving trucks, mail trucks, operating trains, planes, or buses. But for the jobs that we can do solely based off of what, fifth grade education, why is it so hard for them to trust us?
yeah. That's a good question.
I think it's because they think we're a
Uh,
safety hazard.
like they scared that if we get hurt, that's money coming out they pocket.
Uh-huh.
They don't want to pay for that.
Um,
That's what I feel.
in many ways, I think blindness within and outside of the community is viewed as one of the worst things that could possibly
Yep,
happen
it's
to
the
a person.
NRBR.
And I think in many ways, we, like I said, in and outside of the community, we treat it as such. My life is over. Nothing will ever happen for me. This person's life is over. They need to go sit down and wait till their dying day. And I think because of that, there's a lot of stigmas that are in place, and there are a lot of people who refuse to allow themselves to see past what that could bring. I think a lot of it is simply because, like I said, because we within the community stifle ourselves, and a lot of people outside of the community feel like we are limited in what we can do and what we can't do. A lot of times, it's hard for people learning over time as we get older to be able to let go of those notions that we strongly believe in and see outside of what our limited sight allows, or sight figuratively speaking, allows what our limited sight allows us to believe in, go along with. So I think that that's always going to be a struggle until people decide to say, the abilities of somebody who is disabled, more importantly blind, is going to be varied depending on the individual.
Irv or Dan, y'all want to expand on this Florida question?
No, I'm good.
All right. Daniel.
Nah, I'm good.
Well, I just say that like I always tell
Nah, I'm
people.
good.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Um, I think also it's on us to make sure we put our best foot forward as well. Like we gotta take advantage of our opportunities so we not out here looking crazy. So you can get cane training, braille computer, whatever you need to do to do the job. You gotta make sure we take advantage of that opportunity as well. And I know some people who go into these interviews with no type of training or plan and get the job, and now they got the job, they don't know how to ask for accommodations. They think that automatically the company is supposed to give it to them, which is true, but through the proper channels.
Right. I got a couple of comments. Chris got a personalized comment from I think it says a pile 1773. She said he or she said hello, how are you? And then Big Hurt say, what's up, fellas?
What up, Hurt?
It's good,
Big
bro.
Hurt.
What up, Big Hurt?
Yo, what's
What's
going
up?
on today, somebody?
Hello,
Yeah.
mystery person.
Yeah.
Technology, man. Let's get it,
Yeah, it's
man.
tech something, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't type. I don't know. That's too much numbers. That's too much letters bunched up together.
And they put two Y's in there.
Wait,
But
I have a question for you guys.
go ahead, man.
Hey,
Oh, I was gonna ask. Of course, we all live in different states. When the government helps you with housing, is there a place like that where you guys live at? And if there is, what do you think they could do better, or what do you think they're doing the right way?
So,
um,
go ahead, Earl.
so yeah, there are many places that are like income based. Um, what they can do better is upgrade the apartments and or whatnot, and what they're doing right. Um, I don't know. Go ahead, Brazil.
So for Maryland, like Earl said, most of the programs is income based, base income, Section 8 voucher, all that good stuff that
Yeah.
blind, disabled, and other people with things going in their life can get. The thing with Maryland is that I know it's levels to it, but you gotta be in a certain area for 2 years before you can move to the area you truly want to be in. And the areas that they put on the list, although they're affordable areas, but it's like the slums. So,
Right.
for example, like instead of putting you somewhere in Baltimore City, they'll put you somewhere on the outside of Baltimore, like in I don't know Dundalk, which is a county in Baltimore County. Known to that a totally blind person or a vision impaired person, might have a tough time out there either way because for one, it's inconvenient and there's so much violence and trouble that go out there. So, and then one thing they're doing good is making sure that it's available. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't gotta take what's out there.
Right. So I can piggyback up that too. It is available, but technically the ones that are available, you 9.5 times out of 10, you really don't want to be in that area because, and that's why it's always available because nobody really wants to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The moment they get a chance to move out, they try.
Yep.
Oh, that was
Back.
crazy. What about you, Dom? Go ahead, Chris.
I piggyback off all that. Like, it's we can get places, but it's not where we want to go. They put you in a high violence place or place where they really don't do no repairs or nothing like that, and
Right.
look like much of nothing. So
And then
at
the
least
whole
that goes
violence,
to
and,
upgrade.
yeah, and then the whole violence thing. We are at a disadvantage being disabled / blind or whatever, and you gonna put us in that high crime area. We are we walking around with the target on our back. They're gonna be watching us just to see where they can manipulate us. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's just like almost like a time bomb waiting to explode. Cause you always got somebody who's trying to get their next come up.
Come
You
up.
know?
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, like we definitely gotta take. I think somewhere in some of these presidents or directors, some of these programs have said, you know what, beggars can't be choosers. And
Right.
nigga, that's no shade to nobody. It's just that's how it is sometimes. Like if it's out here and they gonna take it, then we gotta understand that it's gonna come with something that we don't like, and it's gonna come with something that we do like. So we want
Ooh.
affordable housing, but the way to get affordable housing is put them in bad areas or
Hmm.
low class areas, I should say.
So Denzel, I also now that you just said that, it also makes me feel like that's another way to deter you from even wanting to sign up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, we
Yep.
gonna make it available, but it ain't
Yep.
gonna be lovable situations, you know?
Yep. Agreed. Anybody else?
Like Don was saying earlier, about it's not only taking care of blind people, but people have other disabilities. We struggle too. Of course, I'm a paraplegic. For me, it was difficult to get certain stuff like accessories that I needed. They're expensive. If not, you need to find somewhere where you can get them for a good price, or somebody you know, who's willing to give them to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And another question, I don't really use a lot of stuff as a visually impaired, but a question for you guys, what do you guys think about the accessories you guys get, like about the prices?
What about the
They
who?
are
You
the
said the
prices
who?
of,
The
of
price,
the prices of the
accessories.
the
Boy, the
accessibility stuff.
prices are whoa. Like, huh?
Like, even I feel like even people who are not disabled, like a regular person, ain't gonna be able to afford that either.
What? Right. Like, check this out. What's the little stick? What's the cane, cuz? What's the name of that cane? They got the GPS and all that in it.
Ooh, I've never even heard of that one, Chris.
What? You
Oh,
ain't heard
the
about that?
Google the Google joint.
It start with a W, I think a we cane or some cane. That junk got like the GPS built in it. It lets you know when you're about to fall off the curb or bump into something. Like it'll shake and
What?
shit. Yeah. But boy, that junk going for damn near
Wait,
a
it's real?
Tesla.
It's real
Yeah,
though?
it's real. Yes, it's real.
What you say it's
And
going for, Chris?
bro, it's going for a Tesla. As they said.
Yeah,
Cause like
that's like those electronic magnifiers. Like, if it wasn't for the association, shout out to the Association of the Blind. If it wasn't for them, I would have never had a Ruby, because that thing costs a couple of grand. Like, I would have never had that.
and then look,
Yep.
the
Shout
folks,
out
the
to
folks
the
that said
blind.
they got, the folks who said they got the cane, they said the only thing they don't like about it is them that junk hurt their wrist because it's so heavy.
Ah,
And then, but I'm like, I found my way to get me one of those. Only thing I do is just get my cane and turn my GPS on my
right.
phone.
And you put your GPS on walk. Yep. You put your
So,
GPS on walk.
oh,
Put your GPS on walk. Yep.
all you gotta do is what, freaking build muscle in your arm and your wrist.
Boy,
Hey, walk to the gym.
what? Then look, Nikki's hat she bought me, it coming out the head, the GPS. I'm good.
Right.
Walking. But yeah, that technology stuff, man. Even the shades, like,
With that,
jeez.
you talking about that
You
oil
talking about
cam?
the work? You
Yeah,
talking
the
about
oil
Orcam?
cam, yeah.
That's a couple of grand too.
For a couple of
So I've
probably about
been
what?
Right.
I've been doing these tests here in Baltimore for Wilma at the John Hopkins Hospital. I've been doing like little trial tests for the equipment they working on. It's supposed to be these glasses that like look like sunglasses, but they glasses, and you put them on, and both blind and vision impaired people can wear them. And it's supposed to have different levels. Like if you're total, you would use the sound indication feature they got, and if you like a little bit of both, you would use the video and the sound. And from the test that I did, like it's so it make you feel like you really can see for real. So I can only imagine like the technology put in that joint and being in the testing stages and grabbing stuff with the
Hey,
glasses. I know them glasses gonna be like $2,000,
what
$5,000 a pair.
what you say you doing again?
They're doing like these little test trials here in Baltimore for
The
the
Google
Wilma
assist?
Clinic.
Ah, I
No,
thought
I
you
don't
was
know
talking
what the
about
I don't know
the
what the glasses gonna be called, but yeah,
nah,
they
because
had.
I'm doing like a thing, and it's dealing with Google, the Google accessibility program or something like that.
Yeah, this one different. This technology that the hospital actually paid
Uh
for
huh.
and had engineered themselves. So it's like a whole new
Oh,
technology that's coming out. I forgot what the program is called, but it's supposed to be coming out soon. So hopefully I get my pair for
mm.
free.
Don't
Doing
do
all
Uh,
these
that.
dang
Don't do
tests.
that. Don't use the blindness. Don't use the blindness. Pay for it. Pay for it, cuz. Pay for it.
Well, I pay for my good looks.
Oh, see.
Hey, I think that's one of Daniel followers, but the person said morning, and they said yo Gohan.
Yo, Gohan. Gohan. What to do, Gohan?
hey,
Talk like Gohan,
hey,
cuz.
go follow the blind kind. That's right.
Right. Go find the blind side.
Anybody else
There you
want
go.
to expand on
Yeah, go follow the blind kind, homie.
technology
And
or
no,
housing?
well,
Oh, it says
I think
David.
Chris and Dom didn't answer
David.
my question.
Yeah, that's
The
what
one
I'm about to
Wait,
before.
what
say.
was your question?
Um,
No, about housing and whether they could do better or whether they're doing good
The
can
programs
you
for
hear
the
versus
me?
location.
yes.
Yeah, we can
Stop.
hear you, Dom.
Yes.
I think with technology, and it's interesting that you brought up the cane. I do agree. I do think that it is kind of backwards for them not to make it more affordable to the demographic that they're trying to do it to. But
Yeah.
instantly, when I thought about, again, I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate tonight. But
Go
instantly,
ahead.
when I thought about somebody bringing up the cane, I think it was Christian. I don't know who said
Yeah.
it, but
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
instantly when I heard somebody bring up the cane, I thought about whose video was it that somebody put out, and they said, to be honest with you, I think it might have been Farron Lewis. It was either him or Jay. I can't remember who, but somebody put out a video that only 8% of the blind community uses canes anyway.
Yeah, you said
Uh,
that. You said that.
mhm. So, and
Yep.
even and he listed multiple reasons why. So again, no
Oh,
judgment as to those. Huh?
I think I want to say I want to say I put that in one of my videos too. The fun I did a fun fact on one of my videos about that, about how many people in the world are vision impaired, and
Mm-hmm.
how many use cane. I think I put that in one of my videos too.
Yeah. And so, and again, like I said, I don't know whose video it was, but the interesting fact was that only 8% used it. And, obviously they listed the reasons, which are all valid reasons: fear, embarrassment, lack of knowledge. But to me, for something like that, if you're making something that generally there's a large part of the community that doesn't really even use it, it's almost kind of like that. Because in my mind, I feel like, and instantly I think back to what Apple just came out with. When there is a demand for something, people are obviously going to, put it out. And I think that obviously when you see that, what's the best way that I can put it? To me, there's always you always know that you're on the right track when you come out with something and other people follow behind it, and you start to see other other companies trying to mimic what you do, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
one company will come out with a cane, and then because that company is successful, five other companies will come out right behind it, offering another cane as well. And a lot of times it'll be again, that to me, that's the sign that there's the need and the supply and the demand. And I feel like in many ways, a lot of these companies are able to get away with charging such high prices because they're out there in the field of their own. It's
a
almost like, well,
monopoly.
right. It's almost like if you want this product, you have to come to us because one, ain't nobody else offering it. Two, you don't have no other choice but to get that stuff here. And so at the end of the day, it's like our hands are tied. So I
Right.
think that in many ways, it's like, hey, I mean, I don't know. On the flip side, I'm thinking on the I look at the iPhone. In my mind, I'm thinking if I'm the creator of the iPhone, all this, like you said about I'm gonna call it a Google cane. If I'm looking out and came up with this great cane that can do all of these things, I dare not get out there and sell it for $50. I dare not.
Right. I'm gonna get what it's worth.
For a cane that's got GPS, it can tell me if I'm gonna fall off the curb. It can tell me which way the sun is shining. I dare not sell that for $50. So again, I think that
No.
we also have to keep that in mind as well. Is that hey, like look at the iPhone. There's a reason why iPhones cost $1,000+. It's a
Right.
reason why Androids cost a certain amount of money, and it's a reason why people keep flocking out there to go get it as well. So I think it's a give and take.
Oh
So,
yeah,
oh,
I'm glad you made that point. Though I was sitting here thinking like, what can I compare in this world? Between the disabled technology to everyday life, and I can't like you basically said it all. Like for someone to invent something to help someone, they're going to be like, well, I did it for this cause, but look at all the labor, like you said, look at all the labor I put into it. Look at what I actually put into it to help you. So why am I sell myself short $1 million when I can get $1 billion off of it?
Right.
It's like
Now
a
again,
double-edged sword, man.
right, and then, like I said, and of course, naturally, and to everybody's point, naturally, I got to know my demographic that I'm selling to. If I know, I dare not put an Armani suit exchange store in the middle of the hood because 9 times out of 10, ain't too
Nobody
many
ain't
people
got
gonna be
no
trying to shop
Armani.
there because I'm not.
Oh
And
yeah, they
again,
gonna
no
shop. They
hate to
gonna shop at
nobody.
shows. They gonna shop.
so, but I got a thing for you though. I got something for you. You know the difference when you bring up iPhone and the cane, right? You know the difference between the both of those. That is the reason why the accessibility stuff don't sit well with me with the prices. We don't need these phones. We need that accessibility stuff. Like those are needs that we got. Like that's the only way that we can function independently. But then yet at the same token, they want to call us lazy. But how can we be lazy and not be able to afford the stuff we need all at the same time? Because I'm pretty sure that everybody in here, if we had even more accessible stuff, we would be able to do a whole lot more than we can do
A
now.
whole lot.
Even though I can say that people on in this group and other people that we know and other blind disabled people do a lot with what we have and what we're given, we could do so much. The limits would be the sky would be the limit. It would be no limits to what we could do if those accessible stuff were. Matter of fact, if more stuff was accessible and if they were affordable for us.
So I can agree with you to some degree, especially with what you said about not necessarily needing the iPhone, but needing those accessible tools. But again,
Yeah.
my point goes back to 8%.
Right.
And I mean, and again,
Dog said, "Look, I said
but
8%."
no. And I mean, and I'm real talk because again, and again, like I said, this is not a judgment call because I feel like I can feel the people coming with their pitchforks. You don't know, you ain't never been, you don't understand. But my point though is that at the end of the day, regardless of what your reasoning is, everybody has to get to a point to where they feel comfortable using that accessible technology to make it available for us all to grow. And even myself, there was a period of time where I didn't feel comfortable using the can. How was it gonna make me look? Who was gonna talk about me? I'm
Right.
not using it right. And so I think for there to be a certain amount of time for us to be able to get to that point, I mean, hell, there's people who we personally interact with still now on a day to day who still don't feel comfortable using the cane.
Right.
And again, and it's one of those things where until you get, and again, I keep saying this, it's not a judgment call, but at the end of the day, until you can, even if we take the iPhone and the Android phone and the Orcam and all that stuff off the table, just literally the bare essentials of what you should be able to need to be able to get around, we won't even go get that. Or let's take the cane out of the equation. We won't even go sign up to get classes to learn how to be more independent and cook and clean and navigate around the world around us. So, you know, I don't know. I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate, but all I'm just saying is that
Hey, you just speaking your you speaking.
But
all I'm
you ain't telling nothing that ain't true though.
true, right? And see, and that's my thing. Although I'm definitely in agreement with you. I dare not pay $2,000 for no damn Oricam. I'm just not gonna do it. Do they need to make it more affordable? Absolutely, absolutely. They need to make it more affordable for the everyday person like me and you to be able to use that type of stuff because you're making it for us. On the other hand, too, my thing is that, and to me, I think like this is the end all to say all. Regardless of what group or demographic you are in, until that entire group, or at least the majority of that group, gets together and say, we don't like being treated like this, we demand this, and we're not going to accept anything less, there will be no change. Now, when
Right.
that may take place, I may be dead and gone. My grandchildren may not even see it. But until that takes place, until everybody gets together and say, no, look, these are the accommodations that we need. We have there's laws already in place. Until we get together and say that these are the accommodations that we need, we're not going to accept anything less and provide them now. We're going to continue to go through this because if I'm the maker of the Oricam, or if I'm the one who writes the laws for the, I'm really gonna hit y'all where it hurt.
Now go ahead.
And we in the black community, right? So I'm talking to my black brothers and sisters out there. Why is it that we will rush to the why is it that we
Say
will
it.
rush to the I'm getting notifications, I'm sorry.
Say
Why
it.
is it that we will rush to the polls to go make sure that we vote for the president, but we won't go vote for the Senate or the Congress, the people who make the laws? Those are the
Right.
people who come through who make the laws about how much we're going to get on disability. Those are the people who make the laws about how much we get paid for welfare or for food stamps or who qualifies for food stamps. So again, it's one of those things where you say, okay, well, yeah, I want there to be change, but I ain't gonna do nothing to get no change.
Right. So you know what, Dom? For the lack of a better word, it's ignorance or not knowing the in and outs of that whole system. You know what I mean?
Correct, and that lack of knowledge, and you are right. And I think that lack of knowledge, if I'm big business, then you benefiting me by having that lack of knowledge. Shit, you ain't
Right.
gonna learn no better. You not learning no
Yep.
better. So guess what? Why change?
I'm gonna
I
keep.
can
I'm
continue
gonna
to
keep
charge.
taking advantage. I'm gonna keep taking advantage of you.
So why should I change?
Exactly.
So no, it's not right for me to do that. But why? If y'all know my favorite character, Little Johnny. If you telling Little Johnny to stop turning the lights and stuff off, but he ain't got no repercussions, why would Little Johnny stop?
Exactly.
Little Johnny.
I mean, yeah, I hear you telling me to stop turning
Yeah.
the lights off, but ain't no reason. You're not giving me no reason to stop. So hey,
If I keep doing
Any
it,
comments?
yeah.
There
yeah.
was a
Dang,
comment, but
I was
there was a
just about
comment,
to
but
So
say.
I ain't
somebody
getting that
somebody
out
block that
loud.
guy.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
know, right?
yeah.
He needs to
Hey,
get
that's
blocked.
what I was
I'm
about to
not.
say. Cause
I'm not
somebody
even.
just
I've been see
I
that.
will
Block.
grab him
I
by his
heard you,
feet
Block
then.
Chris.
that guy.
Hey,
somebody
Chris.
really
I
was
heard you
being
when you
rude.
said. I heard you, Chris, when you was like, when you whispered under your voice, and I was like, no, don't say that, Chris. I'm not even addressing that comment.
Somebody,
Nope.
somebody grab him by his feet then. Get him out of here.
Right.
So here's another question. Here's a lighthearted question. I think all of us can answer it. What do you find most, or what is your favorite accessible tool that you use? Let me say it like that. What do you find most important about it in your life, and why do you? Oh, and why do you use it? Why do you find it important? I should say.
I think for me, it'll be my phone and my stick for my phone. Why? It's because I'm still like that geek that likes electronics, and I do everything on my phone, and voiceover is the one thing that really helps me when that light background, not the like I'm good with the dark mode, but when it's like light, I'm quick to turn that voiceover on, and then for my cane, instead of walking how I used to walk, like slow with that cane, that thing came and helped me get where I need to be fastest. I can't like because fast where I need to be. So those two right there, my voiceover and the cane.
Um, because you already said the cane, I'm gonna go another route. My pen friend is my favorite device. Um, and for those of you guys who do not know, the pen friend essentially is like it's a computerized pen that actually comes with labels. Um, and essentially those labels have a slot of memory inside of that pen. So when you take the pen, you can actually record your voice, and it'll associate it with that numbered sticker. They have regular stickers, which I label my medication, banking cards, important information, all of that stuff. They have laundry labels, which essentially you can sew into your clothes to help you identify what your clothes are. And the best part is the lab. Well, I saw one on Walmart. It's $150. So we're not talking
What?
200. We're not talking 1,000, $2,000. It literally is 100. Well, excuse me, $148 right now if
What
you order it
what's
online
the
at
name?
Walmart.
What you say
Uh,
the name of that is?
it's called a pen friend.
I got one of those as well. Shout out to the pen friend. For me, I'm gonna say Braille. Although I don't use it as much as I did growing up, shame on me. But growing up and being, 18, 21, 25, and having to read social security letters and letters from hospitals, Braille really helped me, man. Because without that, although I can see some, I still can't read print well enough. Like it looked like little ants crawling across, blurry ants running across the page at that. So Braille. And for those of you who don't know,
Oh,
Braille is the format that blind and vision impaired people use to read books, mail, and yeah, stuff like that.
and can I say one more thing? I forgot this. Uh, about the when I don't use my voiceover, it's another thing on the iPhone where you zoom in. Cause like sometimes I get tired of Siri, so it's a thing on there called Zoom, and I turn it on to where it zoom all the way where I can read everything. So that's another one I like, the Zoom feature.
Yeah, of course, Chris already took mine because that's the one that I use the most. I zoom in, right? Like, rather see pictures or read. But when I get lazy, of course, with the voiceover, and of course, technology, the most I use, and I don't think I could go without is my phone because I don't only use it for myself. I use it for like my business, like selling cars and that kind of stuff. If you would call technology my wheelchair, I guess my wheelchair too. I came up without my wheelchair.
Right. Mine, I got a couple of them because, of course, my phone because about all the other things y'all are saying. My handy dandy magnifier,
Hmm.
um, my cane, um, yeah. I mean, that's just basically everything y'all say too. Like it's all the same stuff.
Everybody just touching it everywhere.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the same go for me. My phone, my cane, but I also use bump dots. That helped
There
me
you
a
go.
lot too. Cause
Yeah, I think I
yeah, I put some on my air fryer, my microwave, stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to the bump dots, man.
yeah. Shout out to those. I'm gonna get some now because using those at Mickey House, like I was like, okay, then this would make it better. Yeah.
Another affordable accessory slash accessible tool that we can get.
Yep,
But
I
to
need.
be honest, were the bump dots actually made for visually impaired people?
I can't. I don't. If I had to guess, I would never. I can't think of nobody else who would be able to use that.
So I heard conflicting stories, and I can't remember them, but we got them now.
But
Mhm.
we got them now. They're ours, Debo.
So, fine. Y'all heard about the Knicks tonight? It's like, nah.
No, not the Knicks, but
Well, what you said about the Cardinals? Dre?
well, not the Cardinals, not the
Live
Cardinals.
is over
Hey,
with.
I
hey,
Live
y'all,
is over
Nikki,
with.
Nikki said shout out to her bump dots on her microwave.
Bump dots.
Yeah.
That's
my
right.
Michael.
And make that
I'm
30
sure
second
just now
button easier
reading
to
that junk
find.
too early. Like, what you say? Yeah, that's where she had them at too, and it was so
Any other comments?
fascinating.
Any worth reading comments?
No, that was the
Not
last one.
nobody. Oh, okay.
Nah, bro.
Not nobody being rude.
I'm reading the
No,
comments. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we
reading the
already
comments.
blocked that person.
No, all right.
I think they came in the wrong room trying to play
Right, I
some
think so.
device that we don't need.
Alright,
That's not accessibility.
Yeah, probably just a troller, but like you
any
said,
last words,
wrong one.
guys?
Blind tight now.
Shit, I mean, y'all trying to get
Um,
21 in? What's up? What you talking?
I got, I got one thing to say.
Uh-huh.
That no matter your journey, whether short or long, your journey always starts with one step in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Pastor Mitchell.
Pastor
Pastor
Pastor Skizzle.
Skizzo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pastor Skizzo. Hey, man, Pastor Skizzo. Hey, man.
Pass the plate for
Hallelujah.
Pastor Skiz.
Right, pass the plate around. I done paid my collectors in here. Y'all better look at that screen. Pay my dues. But I mean, what's up, y'all? What? Don't be scared, bro.
I mean, I don't care.
No, I don't
And,
care.
alright, say the order.
You said who?
First of all, Dom
He
and
said
Dre,
the
y'all
order.
playing?
Yeah, I'm playing.
All right, Dom.
So the order would be me, Daniel, Dre,
Denzel.
Denzel, and then Chris.
All right. So
Y'all ready?
this the end of the live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
All right. Get ready to boot them off if you got to. Don't let them stay up here.
They can stay. Anyways,
Nah.
anyways, y'all ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
That 1, 2, 3 get scared a little bit.
4, 5.
6, 7, 8.
9.
10.
11. Come on,
Don't
Daniel.
be, hey, bro.
12,
Hey,
13,
get him out
14.
here.
12, 13,
15,
14.
16, 17.
18.
19.
20.
Sorry, Gohan. Maybe next time.
So who next? I go back. I
There
go
you
again,
go.
or Dre go?
No, it's Dre.
All right, Dre, start.
1, 2.
That
3.
should be scaring me. 4, 5.
6.
7.
8.
9. 10.
11, 12, 13.
14, 15.
16, 17, 18.
19.
20.
All right. Blind tighten up.
Denzel.
Denzel.
1, 2.
3, 4.
5, 6.
Denzel.
7. I'm sorry, 7. I wasn't paying attention.
8.
9.
10.
11, 12.
13.
14.
15.
16, 17, 18.
19, 20.
Hey, I was going to do it. I was going to do it. Kick me out, bro. Give me the boot, bro.
No, anyways, I go next, right? Okay, so
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
I kicked
4,
myself
5,
out.
6.
7, 8, 9.
10, 11, 12.
13.
14.
15.
16.
17.
18, 19, 20.
Yeah, I had know that. I already had know that.
I thought I messed up too, so.
Thanks for watching.
Blind
Tighten
Tighten
out.